What's up guys, Daniel Ndukwu here once again. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing how to write exceptional copy, amazing copy, engaging copy, outstanding copy, eye-catching, mouth-watering, interesting, excellent content for your blogs, for your ads, for your emails, for your sales pages, every single time. Now it's not as hard as you may think, but there are some things that you need to take into consideration that a lot of people miss. Now, this can be applied across the board, whether you're writing online or offline, because they're principles based on the way people consume content and the way people want to interact with content in this day and age. Now, if you're interested in growing your brand, affiliate marketing, online business, making a bit of money on the side, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. I cover it in depth across dozens of videos, and also like this video. Let's dive in. Now, the first thing that goes into creating great content, creating stellar content, has nothing to do with writing. It actually has to do with the way you present your content. And what I'm talking about is a voice, a unique voice. If you've ever been to a business website, let's say you're trying to get a piece of software or you're trying to buy something, you might have noticed that they're kind of stale and lifeless, and they kind of tread the middle road. That's because they don't want to offend anybody. They want to be politically correct and all that good stuff. And while it's good to be inclusive and it's good not to discriminate, I'm 100% for that. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to call out your target audience, your target market. Like if you're there for young black guys, then your messaging should appeal to young black guys. You should use their vernacular, their slang, all that good stuff. If you're trying to appeal to older white women, then you should be using the kind of language that they're using. It's not discriminatory if you're talking to a specific group of people, if you're creating products for a specific group of people and you're speaking their lingo. And within that lingo, you're creating your own unique voice. Now, an example of this comes from the middlefingerproject.org. It's a blog by someone called Ash Amberge. She has one of the most unique voices I have ever seen. I mean, her website is called The Middle Finger Project. She has a book called Unfuckwittable. She has a training program that says you can't fuck with us. That is her brand. And she's raw. She tells it like it is. She's a straight shooter. And people love her for it. And she attracts the kind of people who resonate with that kind of message. There's nothing discriminatory about it. She'll tell you, you're not for me. I'm for women and I'm for people who want to be empowered. And this is the way we do it. That's part of your tone, the way you talk. And then another part of your tone is the words that you use and the words that you don't use, the way you put those words together. Like, for example, instead of writing in passive voice, you always write in active voice, like action oriented. Now, a great app to help with this is called HemingwayApp.com. I use it all the time and it helps me catch when I'm using run-on sentences, when I'm talking too much, I'm too verbose, or I'm using the wrong kind of words. I'm not in active voice, I'm in passive voice, all that good stuff. It helps me catch it. It helps me strengthen my writing and really get to the point, because nobody wants to read 3,000 words of drivel when you could have said it within 500. Now, the next thing that you want to focus on to improve your writing online, in emails, whatever the case may be, is to create really powerful intros. They say that people online have the attention span of a goldfish. You have I think 8 seconds to catch their attention and really give them a reason to continue reading. If you have one long meandering intro paragraph, no one's going to stick around and read that. They'll either skip the intro or press back on their browser and find the next result in the search engines or wherever it is that they came from. That's not what you want. Now, there are a number of ways you can go about creating a compelling intro to get people hooked into your content and wanting to read more. Now, the first way is to straight up let them know what they can expect. Okay, you're here to learn about email marketing. You're in the right place. We're going to cover X, Y, and Z about email marketing. Boom. You let them know they're in the right place. It's about email marketing. They're looking for email marketing advice. This is where they should be. Another way to really grab attention and get people interested in content is to share a shocking statistics. Like 99% of digital marketers write horrible headlines. You're like, whoa. And then you might want to read it like, okay, am I writing horrible headlines? Does my headline fit into the category of horrible? And how can I improve those? And that statistic was fake, by the way. I think it's more like 98% of digital marketers write horrible headline. Another way to hook people in the intro is to write a short story at the beginning, a personal anecdote that really gets them in. Now, this anecdote has to be short and it has to relate to the content or swag into the content in some way to hook and engage readers, because the brain on stories is like the brain on drugs. There have been multiple studies on the effect of storytelling on your brain. So, for example, if you're telling a story about somebody getting punched in the face, the part of the brain that controls the facial muscles or the nerves related to pain reception in the face actually light up. They actually get stimulated, because that is how connected the human mind, the human brain is with stories. That is how we were able to pass down our histories for thousands of years before written languages. Another way to get people engaged with the intro is to write a pointed question like, are you sure you're getting an ROI on your marketing? Are you sure you're doing the right things to lose weight? Are you X, Y, and Z? I mean, those questions just off the top of my head, they're not that good. But I'm sure if you settle down for like 20 minutes, you can come up with a really interesting question that'll get people to say, whoa, I need to know the answer to that question. And that is how you hook people in your intro. That's one of the most important things with writing content, because people skim. They read your intro, they read your headlines, and if those check out, they'll read the rest of your content. Now, another way to really power up your writing is to create an outline. Now, I know this is in English class, 8th grade lit, but an outline is important because it helps you organize your thoughts, it helps you understand what kind of research you need to do beforehand, and it lets you know where you're going. Now, an outline should include a couple of elements. First and foremost, it should include who you're writing for. Every piece of content should be written for a specific person, buyer persona, group, however you like to say it. But the first thing your outline should write is, this article is written for content creators. This article is written for beginner fitness enthusiasts, whatever. Just write it so that you know that everything else below that should be geared towards, written for, and relate to people who are within that group. And then you want to talk about the point of the content or the purpose of the content. Now, is this content to get people to sign up for your mailing list? Is it to create a sale? Is it to build thought leadership? Is it to educate? Is it informational? Is it to sell affiliate products? Whatever the case may be, you want to put that at the very top. What is the purpose of the content? Why am I writing this content? What is the end goal? And how can I structure the content to meet or to achieve that goal with the maximum number of people? And then after that, once you know who you're writing for and the purpose, you can now start crafting the subheadings. Now, this is where your research comes in. You want to pull in resources. You want to look at the points you want to make. You want to structure the article so that it's a narrative, that it has a logical progression. After that, or before that, you can look at the main keywords you want to target. So once you know who you're writing for and once you know the purpose of the article, you can find keywords that actually align with that topic. So let's say you're talking about biceps, like strengthening your biceps for beginners, right? Maybe the keyword is bicep exercises for beginners and not actually just strengthening biceps. So the article will be like similar or actually the same, but you're talking about specific bicep exercises now. The difference is that you've optimized it around a specific keyword so that it can more easily rank in search engines. Now, another thing that you can do to really improve your writing is to go in with the mentality that you want to be clear over clever. Of course, you want your own unique voice, but you don't want to confuse people. That means you need to strip all the jargon out unless it's widely understood. Like in my industry, SEO is widely understood. It's no longer jargon, but somebody who's coming in from nowhere won't even know what SEO is, so you'll need to explain it in your content. So that goes back to who you're writing the content for. So if I'm writing it for an SEO expert, I know I don't need to explain what SEO is. If I'm writing it for an SEO expert, I know I don't need to explain what niche edits are or what link building is or what outreach means or what it entails, because these are things that an expert or intermediate SEO professional already knows. Whereas someone who's a beginner needs to have all of these things explained. So it's really important to be clear over clever or clear over trying to show you're in the know and all these things, right? So again, it's important to understand the lingo, but more important is is your ability to know when to use it and when not to use it. Now, the last thing that I want to touch on is, first and foremost, after you've written that article, you need to drop it. Let it sit down, let it simmer, let it cool, let it marinate, let all those things, all the heat and all the fire that you dropped on the page, let it settle down for a minute. And then the next day or the next day or two, you can go back to it and you can edit that article. If you try and edit it the same day, you're going to miss a lot of things. You're going to be grammatically incorrect because, let me tell you, first drafts, for the most part, suck. And let me tell you, you can't publish a first draft if you're not a really, really experienced writer and a subject matter expert. Even then, you can't publish a first draft. So just take it like that. The first 2 days, let the piece of content sit, and then go back and edit it with a fresh perspective. So those are my tips for writing exceptional content over and over and over again. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated, but these things, these basics separate good writers from great writers from exceptional writers. Now, in order to reach your goals online, you don't even have to be a good, great, or exceptional writer. You just have to be proficient. You need to be able to deliver a message in a way that people want to consume. Now, that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, consider subscribing to the channel, give it a like, and I will see you in the next one. Daniel out.